So as geologists started figuring out the history of Earth and started to put together the geologic timescale, first they worked with relative dating, right? What rock layer is older than what? What fossil is older than what? And they were able to eventually construct the geologic timescale. Since then, we've been able to add absolute ages, but first we're just going to talk about when they constructed it using relative ages. Right? So the geologic timescale itself is divided into eons, eras, periods, and epochs. You can kind of think of it as a year being divided into months, days, hours, seconds, and so on, right? Eons are the biggest chunk of time. They're divided into eras. Eras are divided into periods. Periods are divided into epochs. So eons spanned the entire sweep of Earth's history. The first interval of geologic time is informally designated as the Haitian Eon. I say informally because we actually have no rock record of the Haitian, right? Nothing on Earth that we have found has been formed in the Haitian, right? We think all of that material has been destroyed, remade, nothing's left, right? The Archean Eon, which came after that, began about 4 billion years ago. And we have very little record, but we have a little rock record. We have a much richer rock record for the Proterozoic and the Phanerozoic eons that came after that. We are currently in the Phanerozoic Eon, and we have a lot more evidence in the rock record and the stratigraphic record just because these eons are more recent, right? There's been less time for the material to be destroyed. All right, so for convenience, geologists typically refer to the time before the Phanerozoic just as the Precambrian. Right? So it's that huge chunk of time, about 87% of all of geologic time, that happened before the Cambrian period, that we just call the Precambrian, just because there's not a lot of evidence from back then, so we don't know a lot of what happened back then. Also, there wasn't a lot of life, so there wasn't a lot happening anyway. All right, so as I said, each eon is divided into eras. The eras of the Phanerozoic Eon, which is where we're at today, are the Paleozoic, Paleo meaning ancient, zoic meaning life. Then the Mesozoic, meso meaning middle, so middle life. And finally, what we're in today, Cenozoic, or recent life. The Paleozoic refers to now extinct ancient invertebrates, primitive fishes, amphibians, and reptiles. It wasn't until the Mesozoic that the world became dominated by dinosaurs. And then in the Cenozoic, that was when the dinosaurs went extinct and the world became dominated by mammals and modern plants. Okay, so we live in the Cenozoic era. It began about 66 million years ago. The eras are divided into even shorter units of time called periods, and the periods are divided into epochs. Okay, so these divisions between each epoch, between each period, they're not just drawn randomly in time. They're actually based on very drastic changes in life forms reported by fossils. Right? So for example, what change in life on Earth do you think is associated with the transition from the Mesozoic to the Cenozoic? That would be the extinction of the dinosaurs, right? So when the dinosaurs went extinct, when that meteor hit Earth, causing the dinosaurs to go extinct, we drew a line in the geologic timescale saying that's when the Mesozoic era ended. After that, when life on Earth drastically changed, that's the Mesozoic era. When life drastically changed, we call that the Cenozoic era.